Good morning students. Today we are going to start your computer science book chapter 1, that is introduction to Blockly. Okay, today we will be discussing a very basic introduction about Blockly. What is Blockly, who can use this and who develops Blockly, how to use this, why we use Blockly. These kind of basic thing today we are going to introduce with you. Let's start. Class 5, let's start chapter 1 of your computer science book, that is introduction to Blockly. So what is Blockly? At first I will give you some introduction, okay, then we will go through the chapters. I'll just give you some basic introduction about Blockly today. From the next class onward we will go for practical if the school opens. Okay, when we will have our offline classes we will go for practical and it will be more helpful for you. Okay. So basically today we are going to give some general introduction about Blockly and some sorts of questions I will give you in the form of PDF which you have to write it in your copy. Okay. So what is Blockly? Blockly is a library for building block programming app. Okay, block programming allows users to create scripts and programs by using visual blocks, even if they don't know any programming language. Now what is program? A program is a set of instructions that we give to the computer to perform specific tasks. Okay. And what is programming? Programming is giving instructions to the computer to perform specific tasks. If you want to make your computer to perform any specific task, you have to give the computer the exact instruction, okay? And you have to give that instruction in that language which the computer can understand. It doesn't understand our language, right? It doesn't understand our language, like if you give instruction in Hindi, Uriya, Bengali, it is not going to understand the instruction, okay? So we need specific language to give instruction to the computer. Now we are discussing about what is coding. I am telling about coding, programming, everything. Now what is coding? Coding is actually telling the computer its task in a computer language. In a computer language means in that language the computer can understand. Okay, the specific language that a computer can understand, that is called computer language. And coding is to telling the computer in its language, telling the task in its language. Okay. Now how the coding going to help us? Coding help us to think and ask questions, understand problems, think of solutions, solve problems in many ways. Now why do we use block based coding? I think you already know, you already have heard about some name of coding languages like Java, Python and whatever. Okay, but why we are not giving the instruction to the computer in that language? Why we are using block based coding? So we need to know this at first. Okay, actually block based coding is a form of programming language where the developer issues instructions by dragging and dropping blocks so that the children can easily remember the color coded blocks. Okay, so it's going to be very helpful for the children and they can easily remember the color coded blocks. That's why we are not using any high level language for coding. So what are the benefits of block based coding? Children can easily remember the color coded blocks, as I said earlier. Okay, coding is done here by simple drag and drop method. You can code here without worrying about the rules of the language. If you are coding following some language, following some high level language, you will have to maintain the rules of coding of the language, right? But there is no need to worry about the rules of the language in block based coding. Okay, block based coding is a very fun activity for the children. In 2003 MIT introduced the first block coding language. We know that computer is a machine cannot understand our languages, right? How can we make a computer to do a task for us? We must learn a language that computers can understand too. We can use that language to tell the computer its task. These languages are called computer languages or the programming languages. Okay, now is it clear what is programming or what is programming language? We must know the same language to communicate with each other. To communicate with the computer, we must know the language, right? If we give instruction, if I give you any instruction in Chinese language, can you get it understand? No, na? Here comes a question now. Who can use block based coding? Block coding allows all the younger kids to learn the fundamentals of coding in a simpler format. Okay, it's also powerful enough to build applications and games. Block based programming languages can also be used by the elder persons, by the adults also, who are beginners into coding. Now, is Blockly an app? Yes, Blockly is a visual drag and drop programming tool developed by Google that allows children to snap together commands like puzzle pieces. Is Blockly a language? Yes, Google Blockly is actually a graphical language. You know, this is a visual programming language. Okay, now what is visual programming language? A visual programming language enables developers to explain the process in words that are understandable to humans as opposed to a traditional text-based computer language. You know, the traditional text-based computer languages are so difficult to write. So, that's why we are using this visual programming language or the graphical language, which is more easier for the user to use. Okay, now I will go through your chapter, I will go through your book. The first here is written coding. Now we will tell what is coding. Coding is actually how we give instructions to computers. It is also known as computer programming. What is block based coding now? In block based coding, we use blocks to give instructions to the computer. We will give instructions in Blockly by using blocks. Okay. Look, these are the basic blocks. These are some blocks of Blockly. This is the print block. The print block, what does the print block do? The print block displays information on the screen. Right? If you need to display any information in your screen as output, then you need to write it in a print block. Okay? Like print block or text block, there will be number block too. The number block is used to store only numbers. Okay? Printing with a number block displays the number on the screen. Math blocks and operators are also there. Operator blocks. We can use the operator blocks from the math section to perform basic mathematical operation. If we need to perform any basic mathematical operation, like if you want to add 2 plus 2 and you want to see the result, or if you want to multiply 2 into 15 or 3 into 100, whatever you want, then we need some mathematical operation blocks. Okay, operator blocks. Okay, from the math section, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Even you can get the remainder of the division from these mathematical operator blocks. If you want to see a number, a specific number or a certain number, it is even or odd, if you want to know it, then you can do it in Blockly also. Okay, there is even block, there will be odd block, there will be positive and negative block. Okay, positive and negative block will answer you about whether the number is positive or whether the number is negative. You know what are positive numbers and what are negative numbers? Negative number means the digit or the number that have minus sign before in front of it. Okay, so you also can find prime numbers in the Blockly. You also can find whether a number is prime or not in Blockly also.